the shadow of forgotten legends and whispers of ancient terror, there was once a ruler unlike any other, the last Monster King. A being born of darkness and myth, he commanded armies of nightmares and held dominion over the world's deepest fears. But his reign was not eternal. In this video, we'll uncover the chilling tale of his rise and tragic fall, exploring the myths, the power, and the legacy that time tried to erase. Join us as we step into a world where monsters ruled, and one king stood above them all, the last Monster King. The last Monster King. In the realm of myth and legend, few stories carry the same weight as those concerning kings. Kings rule not just nations, but also the collective imagination of the people they govern. Some reigns are remembered with reverence, others with dread. But what if the monarch in question was not human? What if, in a forgotten age, there lived a ruler whose veins coursed with the blood of the primordial beasts, half divine, half monster, a sovereign feared even by gods? Such a tale lingers in the whispers of ancient storytellers, the saga of the last Monster King. This narrative is not simply about tyranny or conquest. It is about survival, extinction, and the fragile line between humanity and monstrosity. Through the rise and fall of the last Monster King, we uncover truths about power, fear, and the myth society's craft to explain their own triumphs. The Age of Monsters, before humankind carved kingdoms out of forests and plains, before temples rose to honor divine pantheons, there was the Age of Monsters. In this distant epoch, the world belonged not to man but to towering creatures born of chaos and elemental fury. Some had scales harder than stone, others wings that darkened the skies, and still others minds sharp enough to command armies of lesser beasts. Among these rulers of Fang and Claw, a hierarchy emerged. The fiercest became monarchs of their domains. Kings of the mountain, queens of the abyss, lords of the deep sea, and emperors of the desert storms. Their reign was not ceremonial but absolute, enforced by raw strength and divine terror. Yet within this order, there arose one figure who towered above all others. He was neither fully beast nor entirely divine. His form combined the traits of many monsters: horns of obsidian, eyes like burning suns, wings vast enough to eclipse cities, and claws sharper than any forged blade. He was known by countless names across tribes and tongues, but history remembers him as the Monster King. The rise of the Monster King. Legends claim the Monster King was not born in the usual sense. He emerged from a rift in the earth when the world was still molten, birthed by the collision of divine wrath and primal chaos. Some say he was the punishment of the gods for humanity's arrogance. Others believe he was nature's defense against the encroachment of mortals who dared tame fire, stone, and water. Whatever the truth, the Monster King grew swiftly in power. He subdued rival beasts, not through brute force alone but with intelligence that rivaled the gods themselves. While other creatures fought over territory, he envisioned dominion. He forged alliances with lesser monsters, binding them under his command. He organized his kind into a hierarchy of loyalty, something no beast had accomplished before. Under his rule, entire lands became inhospitable to humans. Cities crumbled, fields turned to wasteland, and rivers ran red with blood. Humanity, fragile and mortal, seemed destined to vanish under the reign of the Monster King. The human resistance. But humanity, though weak, possessed qualities monsters lacked: cunning, adaptability, and unity. Faced with annihilation, scattered tribes united in desperation. They shared knowledge of fire, iron, and strategy. They began crafting myths not just to honor the gods but to inspire courage in the face of monstrous terror. Heroes emerged, wielding enchanted weapons forged by divine hands. Sorcerers invoked spirits of the sky and earth to counter the raw power of the monsters. Step by step, battle by battle, humans began to turn the tide. Yet, even as heroes struck down queens of the abyss and emperors of the desert, the Monster King remained unconquered. He was more than a beast. He was the embodiment of monstrosity itself. Every time humans thought they had cornered him, he escaped, returning stronger and more relentless. The turning point, The myth tells of a prophecy. When the stars align in a crimson arc, the monster king shall fall by the hand not of God, nor of beast, but of mortal flesh. This prophecy ignited hope. Humanity searched for the one destined to fulfill it. That figure came in the form of Arion, a warrior sorcerer born under the blood-red constellation. Unlike others who feared monsters, Arion studied them. He learned their patterns, their weaknesses, their pride. He understood that monsters fought as individuals while humans fought as a collective. Arion did not seek to destroy the Monster King alone. Instead, he united humans and even some beasts who resented the king's tyranny. He wielded a weapon forged of iron and starlight, a blade said to pierce even the hardest scale. His army, though small compared to the legions of monsters, carried something far greater than brute strength: conviction. The fall of the Monster King. The final battle took place on the plains of Ashen Fire, where rivers of lava once carved through the earth. The Monster King descended upon the battlefield like a living storm, his wings creating hurricanes, his roar splitting mountains. The clash was unlike any before. Thousands perished in moments, entire landscapes reshaped by the fury of the king. But Arion pressed forward. He faced the king not as prey but as a challenger. Their duel raged for days. Steel met claw, sorcery clashed with primal fire, and the ground quaked beneath their struggle. At last, when the crimson stars aligned overhead, Arion drove his starlight blade into the Monster King's heart. The beast roared so loud that it was said the heavens themselves shook. His fall shattered the earth, creating valleys and mountains that remain to this day. With his death, the age of monsters ended. Humanity stepped into the dawn of dominion, the legacy of the last Monster King. The death of the Monster King did not erase him from memory. On the contrary, his legend became a cornerstone of human identity. Temples depicted him as the embodiment of chaos defeated by order. Kings and emperors compared their enemies to him, using his name as a symbol of ultimate evil. But myths also contain whispers of reverence. Some claimed the Monster King was not merely a tyrant but a guardian of nature, slain by mankind's insatiable hunger for expansion. Others believed his blood seeped into the soil, giving rise to cursed lineages of hybrid creatures, half man, half monster. In remote villages, parents still warn children, "Obey, or the Monster King will rise again." For in every story, his death is never absolute. He is always the last, never the final. The suggestion lingers that one day, when mankind's arrogance grows too great, the Monster King will return to restore balance. Explanation and analysis. The tale of the last Monster King is more than a fantasy of battles and beasts. It carries layers of symbolic meaning that resonate with human history and psychology. Conflict between nature and civilization. The Monster King embodies raw, untamed nature, ferocious, majestic, and terrifying. His reign represents the primal world before human control. Arion's victory symbolizes civilization's triumph over the wilderness, a myth mirrored in countless cultures where humanity conquers dragons, leviathans, or chaos serpents. The fragility of power. Despite his strength, the Monster King falls because he underestimates the resilience of humans. Power built on fear alone is fragile. This reflects real historical shifts, where empires collapsed not through greater might but through the unity and persistence of the oppressed. The ambiguity of monstrosity. The story questions what truly makes a monster. Is it physical form, or the will to dominate others? Some traditions portray the Monster King as a tragic figure, nature's last defense against human greed. In this view, humanity's victory is not triumph but tragedy, marking the dawn of environmental exploitation. Myth as social glue. The prophecy and legend gave early humans hope and unity. By framing their struggle against the Monster King as destiny, they gained morale and cohesion. Myths like these serve to rally people around shared causes, a pattern seen throughout history. Eternal archetypes. The Monster King fits the archetype of the final beast, a last and greatest challenge before the dawn of a new era. He is the shadow that must be faced, the ultimate trial that marks humanity's transition into dominance. Such archetypes persist in modern storytelling, from epic fantasy villains to apocalyptic monsters in film. The legend of the last Monster King endures because it is more than a story of monsters. It is a reflection of humanity itself, our fears, ambitions, and the endless struggle between what we conquer and what we lose in the process. His fall marked the rise of humanity, but it also left behind a question. Did we destroy a tyrant, or extinguish the last guardian of a wilder, freer world? Perhaps that is why the tale never ends with certainty. Perhaps the Monster King is not gone but merely waiting, slumbering beneath mountains or oceans, until the day humanity's arrogance demands his return. For as long as people tell his story, the shadow of the last Monster King will linger, reminding us that power, no matter how great, always carries the seeds of its own downfall. And so, the story of the last Monster King fades into shadow, leaving behind echoes of power, fear, and mystery. Was he a tyrant cursed by fate, or a protector misunderstood by time? Perhaps his legacy still lingers, waiting to awaken when the world once again trembles. Thank you for joining us on this journey into myth and darkness. If you enjoyed uncovering this legend, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales of forgotten realms and ancient horrors. Until next time, remember, the last Monster King may be gone, but his shadow endures.